Okay, so guys, in scenario three, what I'm doing is that I'm building on scenario two, but this time around, considering the what I call the Bawumia factor. So, in the previous scenarios, I did indicate that when you look at the election results over the past two elections, 2016, 2020, you notice that the NPP have really appreciated their numbers in the northern regions. The northern regions being the northern region, the northeast region, the upper west region, um, upper east regions. Of course, um, this is probably due to the Bawumia effect. Of course, if he was vice then and now that he is up for election, you can be 100% sure that of course their numbers will keep appreciating. I mean, there is no denying the fact that those guys up there also want their people or their man to be the next leader of the country. So the expectation is that the numbers that the NPP garnered in the northern regions are very, very likely to increase. Of course, starting with the home region, northeast, which the NPP even won last year. Yeah, so with all the other factors that I indicated being constant, of course, let me move to the 2024 analytics area. So in the previous, analysis, or in the previous scenario, we did indicate that we should do the scenario such that the NDC, wins the four main swing regions, being the central, the greater Accra, and then the two western regions, which I have highlighted in yellow. I've left them here. And of course, we still hold on to our assumption with a 5% increase in the total voter turnout. Yeah, this year compared to the 2020 elections. Okay, so in this case, we can identify the four or five northern regions. I have northeast here being the first one. I have the northern region being the second one. I have the savannah region. I have the upper east, and then I have the upper west. I can highlight this with a different color. Let me do this color. Okay, so you can clearly see, right? You can clearly see them. So with this particular one, we are working with the assumption that the strongholds, which of the political parties, which basically are um, the voter region, the I think the northeast region, and then the Oti region as well, and then Ashanti and Eastern regions. We are holding all these regions constant. And then basing it on the fact that we are maintaining um, what each the percentage each political party had in the previous election. Of course, like I told you, almost all the two political parties are working towards maximizing their votes there. So the NDC is working close to somewhere 90%. Let me look at voter region, how much the NDC had in 2020 election. In terms of the valid vote cast for the NDC, they had over 84%, almost 85%. So maybe let's say they're working towards 90% in the current year, with the NPP also looking at somewhere around 75, 76% in the Ashanti region, and then in the eastern region, hoping to increase from the 60% that they got in last year to say about 65% in the current year. So we're holding all of that constant. But then considering the Bawumia effect, and then let's say after the NPP increasing their votes in the northern regions due to the Bawumia factor, we might also twist down a bit of the let's say the Greater Accra region. I mean, let's say we downgrade the NPP further to see what the impact will be. Of course, I'm not sure if the impact will be that the gains that they make in the northern regions will probably come and then offset whatever downgrade that we do in the greater Accra region. So these scenarios are all very, very possible. Of course, we've listened to what is really happening on the grounds, and um, what we're discussing here are not very will not likely be different from the actual results that would probably come up. Okay, that's fine. So for Northeast region, of course, that's the home region of Dr. Mamahad Bawumia, and no two ways about that. Even when he was running mate, NPP was able to win with 51.33%. So we should expect that their percentage is likely gonna increase. So let's see with this. Let me go to the 2024 area. The 2024 area NPP 51.33 in the previous year. Let's say now they are able to maximize their votes by winning 2% further. So if I add 2% here, it means that I need to go and then reduce the NDCs by 2%, right? Great. This is very likely. This is very likely, And then from the northeast, I come to the northern region. I think last year the NPP also was able to perform much better there, right? So they had 41.61% of the total valid vote cast. Let's say this year the NDC still wins, but Dr. Bawumia is able to up his game by say 1%, right? 1%. Then let me reduce NDCs by 1%, minus 1%. Great. Okay. Then I come to the other northern region, the Savannah. The Savannah last year and MPP had 35.19%. Let's see, Dr. Bawumia is able to appreciate his votes by say 2%, right? Just to be on the low side. So 2%, bringing it to 37.19%. Of course, it's possible that they might get more than that, but just to be on the low side, just for the analysis, it means that the NDC have to deduct 2% from it. Sorry, great. So plus 2 minus 2. Then the same applies to Upper East region, plus 2 minus 2 because of the Bawumia factor, plus 2%, then minus 2%. And trust you me, they are likely to get more than 34% because of the Bawumia factor. Okay. Then Upper West, let's say, let's still stick percent, right? Plus 2%, minus 2%. Great. So let's see how things are faring for the parties. So you can see that now the NPP is really moving ahead with 50.37%, and then the NDC also having 48.29%. So it still says that it's going in favor of the NPP. So what does this tell you? It tells you that the NPP should try and then also maximize their vote in the northern regions based on the Bawumia factor. If they're able to do that, and even if the NDC wins, it will likely cushion them to win this election, even if the NDC should win 12 regions. So when you look at this analysis very well, you can see that still the NDC is winning 12 regions with NPP just winning 4. And then because of they've been able to maximize their vote well in the northern regions due to the Bawumia factor, they are, they are still win the election with 50.37%, So this is what this also tells you. So we will twist this a bit. Let's say the turnout wasn't 5%, but it was 3%. So it still stays at a 50.37. It hasn't really changed that much, but you can see that the total vote, of course, that each party had is what probably has reduced. Let's say the turnout was massive and it increased by 10%. It only slightly reduces the NPP's percentage to 50.36%, while the NDC also increased by 48.3%, right? Um, which I doubt the other parties would really pull any shock. I don't think the other parties are likely to, you know, amass any better votes than um, what they had last year. Okay. So with this particular scenario, like I indicated, it still looks like the NDC MPP looks very, very strong. This is a very likely scenario, which is very, very likely to happen. So um, you can look at this and then suggest other scenarios that you want us to, consider in this module. So I'm still waiting to, share the models with the first like 200 people who indicate that they need it. But I think as of now, I've still not, really seen much interest. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be sharing it in the next scenario. So we can consider the next scenario, which is scenario 4. This time around, also trying to, move a bit the dynamics of what is really happening in the strongholds of these political parties, and let's see how the numbers will churn out. Of course, we are going to build on this scenario 3, which is very likely to happen. This time around, we will just twist it a bit with an increase in the strongholds of the political parties, increasing you know, their total valid votes cast, which is the percentage, of course, which would definitely reflect in the numbers that they will get. Okay, all right.